This is the radiation heat transfer rate. We have T1, T2, T3, and also T4. We have also the radiometer indicator, which is measured in watt per meter square. So T1 is used for black surface, T2 is for grey surface, T3 is for polished surface, and T4 is for heater surface. Connect the thermocouples of T1, T2, T3, and T4 to the horizontal rack. So this is the horizontal rack. So it was measured in centimeter. So this is the heated surface. It is very hot. This is the target plate, and this is the radiometer. So this is the plates. First, we have the black body. Second, we have the grey. And third, we have the polished surface. So done for the general. Next, we move to the details of this experiment.
So, in this experiment, we did 3 experiments. The first one, which is experiment 19B, which is the Stefan-Boltzmann law, followed by experiment 19A, which is the inverse square law for heat, and finally is the experiment 19D, which is the emissivity of radiating surface. So, for the first experiment, which is experiment 19B, we will have to fix the radiometer at 30 centimeters. Okay, and then we have to be moving on to the radiation heat transfer rig. We only take T1, T4, which is the heat controller, and the radiometer indicator. So in this experiment, we only need to change the T4. First, we start off with 300, and then we move to 350, and then we move to 400, and finally we do at 450. So that's all for our experiment, for experiment 19. So moving on to the second experiment, which is experiment 19A. We first set up the apparatus as shown here at our radiometer at 30 centimeters. And moving on to the radiation heat rig, we set our heat controller or also the T4 to 400 degrees. And for this experiment, we only change the length of the radiometer. We start off at 30 centimeters, and finally we will move the knob below it and move this radiometer to 40 centimeters. So this experiment will be repeated for the subsequent length, which is for 50 centimeters, 60 centimeters, 70 centimeters, and finally 80 centimeters. That's all for experiment 19A. And for the last experiment, which is experiment 19D, we will set up the experiment apparatus as shown here. The radiometer will be at 20 centimeters, whereas the target plate will be at 10 centimeters. So we will start off with using the black plate and put it into the first hole. And then we will take the temperature from this radiation heat transfer rig from T1 and T2 and T4, and also our radiation indicator. And to continue the experiment, we will change the plate here with the second one, which is a gray plate, and putting it into the second hole, and followed by the last plate, which is a metallic plate, into the third hole. So for every experiment, the temperature that is taken will vary. So for the first one, for example, we take the black plate. We will not take the temperature for T3, as T2 and T3 will have the same temperature, whereas for T2 we will not take the temperature for T1, as it is still hot and it will not give an accurate reading, whereas for T3 we will not take the temperature of T2. So that's all from us. We hope that this video will give you a brief idea of how experiment 19 works. Thank you.